So I'm Brian Mahoney. I've been a lawyer for 28 years, and I can't dance. But anyway, I write, and Andrea Lovett is my friend, and I've been writing with her and J. O'Callahan, a group of writers, since October of 1998. And one night, Jay gave us a spark and what to write about. And he said, have you ever been lost? So this, I was talking with my daughter the other day, and I said, honey, I used to be rich. And it reminded me of this piece I wrote once called Lost. And have you ever been lost? Has anyone ever been lost? I know I was lost when I was 4 years old at Zehrs department store down in Roslindale on American Legion Highway. And I remember crying. And I thought I'd never see my mother again. And the manager found me, and has anyone lost a little boy? And then my mother got me and grabbed me and yelled at me. I remember when I was 15 years old, I grew up in Mattapan Square, and I moved to Canton, Massachusetts, which was back then was like going to the ends of the earth. I remember 15 years old, and I didn't know anyone. And I sat down on the stairs of the old cafeteria, and I didn't talk to anyone. I was really shy. I wasn't like I am now. And can you imagine being lost? You're 15 years old, and there's hundreds of teenagers around you. Does anyone remember Peter Wolf from the Jay Giles Band? He used to do that rap intro to I Must Have Got Lost. Anyone ever lost any money? I got married when I was 32, and my ex-wife lost part of her foot, and we had a big medical malpractice case that I masterminded, and this is the legal part. And so we had a trial. We had a crazy trial, Judge. I'm sure it's happened to you. And we were getting murdered, and so we fought for a mistrial. We retried it as a jury trial in Norfolk Superior Court. And I remember the case winning great. I was with my former partner, Jude, who was an interesting guy. He was a hockey player, a guitar player, and a great lawyer. And we were standing outside Norfolk Superior Court. It was May 1991. I was 34 years old, and the cherry blossoms were out. It was a gorgeous warm day. And we just felt so confident, like we had won. And we were just, and I worked on the case for 2.5 years. Spent $45,000, risked everything I owned to win for her, because she deserved to win. And then the jury came back with a couple of questions, and we thought that they just didn't understand what we talked about. And we were sitting on the front stairs. And finally I said to Jude, I said, I got to go home. I can't handle it. So I went back to sit with, with my ex-wife, because she was really nervous, of course. And then about an hour and a half later, Jude walked in. And we were convinced if they came back that day with a decision that we had lost based on their questions. And Jude comes in, and he looked like he was drunk almost. He's like, 1.4 million with interest. We won. And we're like, yes! I remember I went up after Jude left, and we talked and shook hands and, hugged my ex-wife, and I went uptown, Canton, and we got, that's what Canton people say, we're going uptown. It's this little tiny center. And I got a 6-pack of Sam Adams, and back then, I'm a rocker, I love rock music. AC/DC had a song out called Money Talks. And I remember I had a beer in my hand. Don't tell anyone the statute of limitations expired, but I was driving a motor vehicle, and I was pounding on the steering wheel, singing the song, and I sing very badly. With a beer bottle in my hand, there's an old lady next to me at the lights, and she looked over and rolled her window up. I thought I was some kind of nut. Well, I had $800,000 cash coming to me. I was 34 years old. I loved my wife. She was a beautiful woman. And that's where the lost part comes in. Times change, lives change, situations change. My marriage turned bad, and I remember I kind of got lost in my life and in my marriage. And it's kind of funny. How do you get lost in your life? Your eyes are wide open, but the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, and then the months blend into the years, and the years can fade away. And so the years of my life kind of faded away for a while, like a warm spring shower did. And so you get lost sometimes. And as I was telling part of this story to my daughter, who's 13, because she didn't understand why I was rich, because now we live in a 2-bedroom apartment that I rent. So obviously I got divorced. So do you want to know how my divorce worked out? Great. My ex-wife got 2/3, and my lawyer got the other third. But when I lost all my, when it happened, I was 48, 49, and you're trying to hold back the years, and suddenly you're single, and you're like, how do I get back this time? And what I learned is that when I lost all my possessions, I learned that I never really needed them. And all I needed was a positive attitude, and I got to live with my daughter half the time, which for a man in Massachusetts is difficult to do, and she's 13 and she's happy, and I get to, you know, be with her a lot. And so I was actually a rich man. And so instead of trying to recreate the past and making up for lost time, I figured that my present life is a gift, and my life is now, and so I try and look at everything with a smile, and just like you guys. So thank you for having me here and allowing me to speak. I enjoyed it.